Let's be honest. Every gardener, no matter how experienced or passionate, has forgotten to water a plant at some point. It's one of those universal truths of gardening that nobody really talks about, but we've all been there. Maybe you got caught up in a busy week, or maybe you just lost track of time. Suddenly, you remember that plant you were so excited about, and you rush outside, hoping it's okay. You step outside, only to find your favorite plant wilted and the soil dry as dust. The leaves are drooping, the stems look weak, and you can almost hear your plant sighing in disappointment. It's a scene that's all too familiar for many of us, and it never gets any easier to see. That pang of guilt, we all know it. It's that sinking feeling in your stomach when you realize you let your green friend down. You might even start questioning your abilities as a plant parent, wondering if you're cut out for this at all. But the truth is, life gets busy, and sometimes our plants pay the price. Between work, family, errands, and everything else on your plate, it's easy for watering to slip your mind. Even the most dedicated gardeners can't be everywhere at once. But forgetting to water doesn't make you a bad plant parent. It just means you're human. Plants are resilient, and so are you. The important thing is that you care enough to notice and want to do better next time. I used to struggle with this, especially with container plants that dry out fast. Pots and planters can lose moisture much more quickly than garden beds, and it sometimes feels like you're constantly playing catch-up, trying to keep up with their thirst. And if you're like me, you might have tried to make up for missed waterings by giving your plants a big drink all at once, but overwatering to compensate only led to root rot and more frustration. It's a delicate balance, and it can be tough to get it just right. That's why I turned to a simple, brilliant solution, the self-watering planter. It's a game changer for anyone who wants to keep their plants healthy without the stress of daily watering. It's not about being lazy. It's about gardening smarter. With a self-watering planter, you're giving your plants the best chance to thrive, even when life gets hectic. You can finally relax, knowing your plants have what they need. A self-watering planter gives your plants consistent moisture, even when you're busy or away for a few days. The built-in reservoir means your plants can draw up water as they need it, so you don't have to worry about them drying out or being overwatered. It mimics how soil naturally wicks water, creating a stable environment for your herbs, veggies, and flowers. This gentle, steady supply of moisture helps prevent stress and encourages strong, healthy growth. If you've ever felt guilty about a thirsty plant, this guide is for you. You're not alone, and there's a simple way to make plant care easier and more forgiving. I'll show you, step by step, how to build a self-watering planter with materials you probably already have at home. No fancy equipment or expensive gadgets required, just a little creativity and a few basic supplies. It's easy, affordable, and will free you from daily watering chores. Imagine spending more time enjoying your garden and less time worrying about whether your plants are thirsty. Whether you're heading out of town for a few days or just want to simplify your routine, self-watering planters are a lifesaver. They're perfect for busy families, forgetful gardeners, or anyone who wants to see their plants flourish with less effort. Let's break the wilt and revive cycle and help your plants thrive, no matter how busy life gets. With a little know-how and the right tools, you can enjoy a lush, vibrant garden that practically takes care of itself. So, what is a self-watering planter? If you've ever struggled to keep your plants alive, or found yourself constantly worrying about whether you've watered them too much or too little, you're not alone. That's where self-watering planters come in. They're a clever solution for anyone who wants healthier, happier plants with less effort. At its core, a self-watering planter is a container with a built-in water reservoir at the bottom. This hidden compartment stores water separately from the soil, creating a steady supply that your plant can access whenever it needs it. Instead of pouring water directly onto the soil from above, you simply fill the reservoir. The plant's roots then draw up water as needed through a process called capillary action, which is how water naturally moves upward through soil and into the roots. This system keeps the soil moisture consistent, so your plants aren't subjected to the stressful wet-dry cycles that can cause wilting, yellowing leaves, or even root damage. The soil stays evenly moist, which is exactly what most plants crave. The result? Healthier roots, stronger growth, and better yields. When roots have access to both water and oxygen, they grow more vigorously and are less prone to disease. You'll notice your plants looking lusher and producing more flowers or fruit. Self-watering planters are also incredibly water efficient. Because the water is stored in a covered reservoir, less is lost to evaporation or runoff. This means you use less water overall, which is great for the environment and your water bill. With a big enough reservoir, you can leave your plants for days, or even a week, without worrying about them drying out. This is perfect for busy people, frequent travelers, or anyone who just wants a little peace of mind. Personally, I use self-watering planters for my tomatoes, and they stay perfectly hydrated even during the hottest summer heat waves. The difference in plant health and fruit quality is remarkable compared to traditional pots. Unlike regular pots that sit in saucers of water, a self-watering planter is designed so that most of the roots stay above the water line. This prevents root rot, which is a common problem when roots are constantly submerged. Only the bottom layer of soil touches the reservoir, allowing roots to reach down for water while still getting plenty of air. This balance is key for healthy root development and overall plant vitality. It's really the best of both worlds. Your plants get a steady supply of water without the risk of drowning. The result is a thriving, low-maintenance garden, whether you're growing herbs on your windowsill or vegetables on your patio. Now that you know how a self-watering planter works, let's dive in and see how you can build one yourself, step by step. Before we start, let's gather our materials. You'll need 2 containers, like 5-gallon buckets, that can nest together, leaving a gap at the bottom. Make sure they're food grade if you're growing edibles. You'll also need a small plastic container, like a yogurt cup, for the wicking chamber. Grab a piece of PVC pipe, about 1.5 inches wide and 18-20 inches long, for the fill tube. A drill with different bits is essential for making holes. Use a light, fluffy potting mix with peat moss, cocoa coir, perlite, or vermiculite. Avoid heavy garden soil. 1 bucket should have a lid. We'll use it as a platform. That's it. Simple, affordable, and you might already have most of it at home. Ready? Let's get building. Gather your tools, and let's move to the next step. Time to get your hands dirty. First, prep your 2 buckets. The outer one is the reservoir. The inner one holds the soil and plant. Drill plenty of 1/4-inch holes in the bottom and lower sides of the inner bucket. This is key for wicking. Drill an overflow hole in the outer bucket, about 3.5 inches from the bottom, to prevent overfilling. Next, make a hole in the inner bucket's bottom edge for your PVC fill tube. Use a hole saw or utility knife. The pipe should fit snugly. These holes ensure water can move up and excess can drain out. With the buckets prepped, you're ready for the next step. This setup keeps roots healthy and prevents rot. Double-check your holes for smooth edges. Your containers are now ready for assembly. Let's build the reservoir. Now, let's create the water reservoir. Place the bucket lid upside down inside the outer bucket. It acts as a platform. This leaves a 3-4 inch gap for water storage. Cut your PVC pipe to about 20 inches, angling the bottom so water flows freely. Insert the pipe through the hole in the inner bucket. Nest the inner bucket, with pipe on top of the inverted lid inside the outer bucket. The pipe should reach the bottom of the reservoir and stick out above the rim for easy filling. Check that everything fits snugly, and the buckets are level. You now have a sturdy 2-chamber system, soil above, water below. The basic structure is done. Next, let's set up the wicking system. The wicking system is the heart of your planter. Take your yogurt cup and drill holes all over it, bottom and sides. Place it upside down in the center of the inner bucket's base. Moisten your potting mix until it's damp but not soggy. Pack the mix tightly into and around the yogurt cup. This forms the main wick. Fill the rest of the bucket loosely with the moistened mix for good aeration. The dense wick draws water up, while loose soil supports root growth. This setup ensures steady moisture for your plant. Your wicking system is ready. Now, it's time to plant. Let's get your green friends settled in. Planting is simple, but a few tips make it smoother. Dig a hole in the center of the potting mix for your plant's root ball. Gently remove the plant from its pot, loosen any circling roots and set it in the hole. Backfill with more mix, firming gently to remove air pockets. Water thoroughly from the top to help roots settle and kickstart the wicking action. Fill the reservoir through the PVC tube until water trickles from the overflow hole. For the first week, check the soil surface. Top water if it looks dry. Soon the wicking system will take over and you'll only need to refill the reservoir. Your plant is now in its new, self-watering home. Enjoy the peace of mind. Now that your self-watering planter is set up and your plants are settling in, let's talk about how to keep your mini garden thriving all season long. A little regular care goes a long way toward lush, healthy growth. Start by checking the water reservoir every few days, especially during hot or windy weather when plants drink more. If the reservoir is empty, refill it right away. Consistent moisture is the secret to strong roots and vibrant leaves. For feeding, use a half-strength, water-soluble fertilizer mixed into the reservoir every 2 to 4 weeks. This gentle, steady supply of nutrients helps your plants grow steadily without overwhelming them. Alternatively, you can add slow-release fertilizer granules to the soil at planting time. These granules break down gradually, providing a steady source of food for your plants over several months. At the end of the growing season, it's important to empty out the old soil from your planters. Remove any leftover roots or plant debris and give the buckets a good cleaning. Scrub the containers with a brush and rinse them thoroughly. This helps prevent salt buildup from fertilizers and reduces the risk of plant diseases carrying over to the next season. Each year, start fresh with new potting mix. This annual reset keeps your self-watering system healthy and gives your plants the best possible start. Don't be afraid to experiment. Try using larger containers for bigger plants, or test out different wicking materials to see what works best for your setup. You might find that certain wicking materials, like cotton rope or felt, work better for your climate or plant choices. Adapting the design to your needs is part of the fun. Remember, the key components of a successful self-watering planter are a reliable reservoir, an effective wick, and a well-placed overflow hole to prevent overwatering. Gardening is a journey of learning and adapting. Keep notes in a garden journal, observe how your plants respond, and don't hesitate to tweak your setup as you go. With a self-watering system, you'll spend less time worrying about daily watering and more time enjoying the beauty and bounty of your plants. It's a great way to make gardening more relaxing and rewarding. Try growing new crops, experiment with different planter arrangements, and have fun discovering what works best on your patio or balcony. With consistent moisture and the right nutrients, your plants will reward you with lush leaves, colorful blooms, and delicious harvests. Consistent moisture means happier, healthier growth. Enjoy your thriving garden and watch your plants flourish like never before. You're now ready to build your own self-watering planter and say goodbye to wilted plants. This simple DIY project saves water, reduces stress, and helps your garden flourish. Share your creation with us, tag Epic Gardening on social media, and inspire others. Subscribe to our newsletter for more practical gardening tips and stories. Pass this guide to a friend who struggled with plant care. Let's grow a smarter, more resilient gardening community together. Now get building. Happy gardening.